Today, Pope Francis met one-on-one with President Joe Biden at the G7 summit in Italy. Their discussion focused heavily on the war in Ukraine.
Pope Francis is the first pontiff ever to attend the summit. ABC's Morgan Norwood has you covered on the warning he gave world leaders about artificial intelligence.
On day 2 of the G7 summit in Italy, nations zeroing in on artificial intelligence, economic security, and immigration. Pope Francis, the first pontiff to attend the G7, leading a talk on AI and encouraging world leaders to safeguard human dignity first. ABC's Patrick Reevell in Italy.
Basically, his message was that while it has great opportunity, it's also dangerous. He called it both fascinating and terrifying. In particular, he was urging people and urging the world to put controls around AI.
President Biden also meeting with the Pope on the sidelines. The two seen shaking hands, and at one point, Biden placing his forehead on the Pope's. The Pope's historic G7 appearance comes amid two raging international wars, the war in Gaza and Russia's war on Ukraine. President Zelensky also meeting privately with the Pope just hours after Biden and other G7 leaders signed a 10-year deal strengthening Ukraine's defenses through a $50 billion loan backed by interest on frozen Russian assets.
And we'll be with Ukraine until they prevail in this war.
The G7 talks also producing laughs. Pope Francis meeting with comedians from around the world at the Vatican, including Whoopi Goldberg, Jimmy Fallon, and Chris Rock, telling them you can even laugh at God. It is not a heresy. And Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to pick up talks with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, underscoring the support discussed during the G7 summit. The two expected to meet this weekend at the Ukraine Peace Summit in Switzerland. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.